Hey everybody, how are we doing today? I wanted to do a video talking about how we're in one of the largest wars we've ever been in. And this isn't a physical war or a war that's going to be fought with guns, ammunition, stuff like that. This is a war of information. The way information travels through the internet. The way that people are pushing disinformation and misinformation, the way that the lack of people looking into where this information is coming from, and why we're having such a hard time trying to figure out this mess we've gotten into, where lies are winning over the truth, and it's getting pretty scary out there. It's really disturbing that the powers that be are pushing disinformation down our throats and trying to divide us on issues that really we shouldn't be divided on. One of the person I would say who's really crossing lines and crossing boundaries that have never been crossed before is Elon Musk. Elon is using his platforms, or his platform, to divide our nation. Because when we break up into little groups, and we are weaker, and they know how to divide us on little issues that don't even matter, and they know how to play our emotions, and it's really a sad time in the world. And right now more than ever, it's just really important for people to check sources. And when you see something, or there used to be a saying that trust but verify. And in today's world, that doesn't exist anymore. Trust but verify was pre-internet, pre-mass information, pre-mass independent, what they so-called call media, these bloggers and podcasters who just really make stuff up. So now today, it's really important that we don't trust, verify. And when you verify the information, still don't trust it, and look farther. And I know this takes a lot of time, and we live in a fast-paced world, and that's what these people prey on. They prey on the fact that we don't have time to dig deeper and dig. The world has gotten so to such a fast, non-stop. If you're not grinding 24/7, you're getting left behind. But they're using this information, or they're using information to make us get behind anyway. Elon constantly spreads lies. I mean, if you ever look at Twitter was okay. It was one of the shittier platforms, but today it's unrecognizable. And it's sad that people are no longer able to see the truth or see disinformation and misinformation. They're just so angry because these are the things they want you to be angry. They want you to be afraid. And just how we got here is beyond me. we're at a point, kind of like a crossroad, or a point of no return. I don't want to say we got to a point of no return. I think we could turn it around if people just start doing their due diligence and trying to determine what's real and what's not. We need to start getting back into research. They've done such a good job at making institutions like colleges the enemy, and researchers the enemy, and fact checkers the enemy. And they do this because these people are smart. These people push back. These people have knowledge. They attack fact checkers because they're lying. Why else attack a fact checker? The only person who wants to attack them is the person who's not telling the truth. People who are telling the truth don't care about fact checkers. So they have a war on all these people. Scientists. Like, what's the war on scientists? The war on Dr. Fauci. Like, Dr. Fauci's served our country for how many years? I don't even know. 50 years? It seems like. And the guy is crucified for dedicating his life to our country. And the people who haven't dedicated their lives to our country are the ones, complaining. It seems like, half the country no longer likes our country. They want to change it. And understand, things evolve. And we should always be moving forward, but we're moving in a path that's unsustainable. Doge going in and just doing whatever they want with our information, and half the country is cheerleading this. Is beyond me. Used to cry when we thought the government was spying on us, and now you're letting a group of guys, mostly kids under the age of 24, just take our information, petabytes of data, and have no idea what they're doing with it. And Elon just wants the information for his own gain, so he can study the Treasury Department payment systems as he's trying to create a payment system. So where do you think these people, they're not here for our country. They're self-serving. Elon is the most self-serving human being in the world. And he has no interest. He doesn't have empathy. He doesn't care about anybody. Look at the way he treats his employees. And you got these people cheerleading him. For us to get back on track right now, it's going to take a fight. It's going to take, somehow figuring out how to win the information war. Because that's what we're in. We're in a giant information war. And this is for your mind. Your own thoughts are no longer originated in your head. They're originated on social media through bot armies, clickbaiting, having, images that portray, which is, they're not even real anymore. And people are using AI to make images that, make you angry about situations, and these images are fake, and you're angry about stuff that's not even going on, or exaggerating the truth. So, really what I think we need to do is just make sure you have sources. Make sure that you know where your information is coming from. Twitter is not the new media, like they love to say on there. You have state actors, you have Russian and Chinese trolls and bots, pushing agendas, showing, and they don't just do it on one side. They're doing it on both sides to make both sides angry, so that you don't come together. And sadly, these social media platforms know they're doing it, and they still allow it. They could get rid of bots with a simple, it's not hard. It is not a technology that we don't have, and to get rid of bots. Bots behave in a certain way. If we can analyze behavior through, just behavioral analysis on computers. And right now, we're in a rigged system. And, the tech bros who want to take over the government have a huge advantage because they control information. Information, like I said, it's the new warfare. And the battlefield is inside your head. It's your mind. So, like we work out our bodies, like we train, like running a mile if you want to run 10 miles. You gotta start doing that with information and understand where we're going. I've been sitting back, watching. I'm not a huge social media person. I got real tired of social media probably in 2016 after the first Trump election, and the hate I saw, and the divide and the anger was getting more and more. And if you even voiced your opinion, you were crucified for it. And it seems like we had simpler days before we were in each other's faces 24/7. So I made the decision to leave social media and not take part, and my life improved dramatically. My happiness improved dramatically. The internet survives on anger, survives on fear. And if you were happy and doing things, you wouldn't be on the internet, believe me. You'd be outside, enjoying the sun, meeting new people, I think it's funny that Elon Musk constantly talks about birth rates going down and what we can do to get birth rates up. Yet he owns a social media platform which is killing physical human interaction and turning us into a digital interacting society where we no longer engage physically. And it's just it's tough. It's tough to get any meaningful human connections anymore outside of a digital space. Where do you go? People don't make eye contact anymore. They see you, they grab their phone and channel, zone you out and go into this matrix world that doesn't even exist. And it's really scary that this fictional world, this world that physically doesn't exist, but it exists within this digital environment, invisible, floating around us, and data, but that world's now leaking over into our world. So I guess it does physically exist now because it has lasting impact on our real lives in the physical world. But we need to come to terms with each other. Everybody, we're not the enemy. There's a few people out there, like I said, trying to divide us because that gives them the power. That gives them full control. This isn't a new tactic. This has been going on since the kings and divide and conquer. That's a saying for a reason. You divide people and divide people and divide people into smaller groups, make those groups angry at the other groups, and that's how the minority stays in power. And the majority of people, when you go outside and talk, you enjoy each other's lives and you enjoy your company, and then we go into our digital spaces and these ugly people come out. And it's really disheartening. I wear this mask and just to cover my identity because today's world. I don't know where we're headed. I don't need the scrutiny of my own life. I work in technology, so I have a strong understanding. I have I've got several graduate degrees in cybersecurity and information warfare. I study information warfare religiously, and it's really hard. It's really hard to see what you're studying and researching, and then turning on the internet and seeing that it's true. And it's just so simple fix. It's not a simple fix because people need to do the work, and people are kind of getting lazy when it comes to investigating information. They see something that they agree with or that validates their opinions, and they just read the headline. They don't read the actual article, and they just move on to the next thing that they find. And then the problem is these algorithms. The algorithms are designed to keep you on the internet. The internet doesn't survive without you going to it. So it's going to study you. And it does. And it sounds crazy, but the internet's constantly studying you and trying to figure out, how do I keep this person's attention? How do I keep them on this website? And sadly, it's usually through anger and fear. Most people are coming to the internet to get angry at the other side. And people that they used to be friends with and agreed with and shared bonds with are now the enemy. And it can't be like this. If we're going to make it, if we're going to make it as a civilization, we're going to make it together. We need a system that works for everybody. This whole woke war on woke, I don't even know what the hell that means. I've yet to have anybody explain to me what woke is. You ask 100 people, you get 100 different answers. And really, when I hear what they say, it really means some empathy or sympathy. More empathy, I think, than anything. Empathetic to other people's situation. And I don't agree with everything on either side. But, the world is full of unique individuals. And it's really beautiful. I tell people all the time. I remember I was out one night at a bar, having a beer just by myself actually. I was tired of sitting inside, went out and had a drink, and then I met the bartender, started talking to him, and his friend came in, and there was a group of people down at the other side, and the girl had dreads, and I recognized her from a restaurant she worked at. So I sent them a drink, and this kid was like, "Why would you send them a drink? I'd never even talk to these people." Because she looked different. Because she had hair with dreads and tattoos. She was a super nice person. And, we're just looking at people and determining that we don't like them. And we don't agree with them. And we're not going to associate with people like that. I think uniqueness, the more unique you are, the more beautiful you are. It's really what it comes down to. Imagine if the world was all the same. I'm not a religious person, but I always say, I have a saying I say that's, God created all these flavors in life, and why would I deny any of these beautiful flavors in my life? And that's how I look at different cultures. The flavors of life makes it unique. Going to South America and going to Brazil and Colombia, it's just absolutely one of the most fun, beautiful places in the world. Beautiful people, and they have a different outlook on life, and you can learn so much from them. But right now, we're in a polarized world. And we're turning people who aren't really the enemy into the enemy. You don't even know these people, and you've determined that they're criminals and, you know, don't belong here in America. I mean, America is a country that is founded on people moving here for a better life. And all of a sudden, we now determine that some people aren't worthy of that. You know, America is not overpopulated. We're actually extremely underpopulated for our size. You know, for the size of the United States of America, you know, we only have 300-something million, 330 million, whatever it is, citizens in a massive place. You know, and then other countries, you go there and they've got 100 million and it's something the size of a state, a small state, and they live on top of each other. And I can understand in those situations why it would be harder to, you know, bring people in, but they still do. And here in America, we need to reevaluate what we're doing and find ourselves again. I feel like we're lost, and that we really need to find our way back to being the leaders of the world and the example. I know a lot of countries hate on America. You know, they think our citizens are stupid, and in some instances they're kind of right. Look at us today. You don't think we're stupid? People are fighting over the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Talking about getting rid of the Department of Education because I have no idea why. Talking about taking kids' school lunches away. Like, we're the country that provides. You know, we took great pride in that at one time. And now it's like a sin. And I understand people are struggling. Prices were high. But, you know, they did a really good job of making that sound like that was the administration's fault, when in fact it was a global inflation. You know, you can hate Joe Biden all you want, but he isn't responsible for global inflation. You know, and then people make fun of us because they say we're uneducated because, yeah, we make stupid decisions. You know, we need to take civics, understand the Constitution. Constitution's a great document, and there were some mistakes made, like lifetime appointments for judges, huge mistake. But they expected us to evolve, and they expected us to, you know, evolve the Constitution as life evolves. So they never planned on being a document that in 2,000 years, and if America is still America and a democracy, still going by this, 2,000-year-old document, they expect us to, move forward and change it, for the better as we go through life. Not tear it apart. Not make it work for some people and not others. I don't know. We need to turn it around though, guys. It's hard having these conversations, but we need to really focus on where we're getting information from. I know I said this before, but information warfare is here, and it's here to stay. This isn't going anywhere, guys. It's only going to get worse, especially with AI, bots, click farms. If you know what a click farm is, it's just huge computer bot systems that like, certain posts to push their propaganda. And these things exist. And you'll see them. They'll have thousands of cell phones in a room, all programmed to like certain, stories and to get those stories trending. And, it's sad that we're going through this right now. I wish people would take a break from the internet. And this is coming from someone who works in technology. I work in IT and cybersecurity, and like I said before, I study information warfare and the flow of information and how we consume it and what the problems are. And the problem comes down to us. We do the work, we win. When we get lazy, we lose. And they have all the money. Right now, we're looking at an oligarchy here in the United States. And we don't have the money to fight. But at the same time, we don't have to be slaves to these people. They need us more than we need them. One day we're going to have to wake up and realize the masses have the power. Each individual has the power. And anytime we want to change this, we can. But we just need to figure out information warfare. When I first got into cybersecurity and I heard these terms, and I was like, oh, that'll never happen. And then 2020, I'd say 2016 was probably the beginning of the information war. 2020, we were on a upslope. In 2024, we were at the peak. I don't even know if we're at the peak. We're at the peak for us now, though. If that peak continues to grow, I don't know. But again, we need to figure out, you need to have, get back out there and try to explain this to your family members and tell them, do your due diligence, read, research, don't be lazy. It's one thing cell phones have done, it's made our minds so weak. Our attention spans have declined, which is again a tool for them to use against us. We need to really, really, really be researching. Really, really looking for the truth. Because right now, there's a war on free speech. And it's not, I wouldn't say there's a war on free speech, but they're using free speech as a weapon to drown the truth. And the truth is being drowned out, and people are having a very hard time navigating information and figuring out what's real and what's not. And it's understandable. There's so much out there. But again, that's why you disconnect. You disconnect from the internet. Not 100%. If you enjoy going on social media, I understand that's how people interact now, but it's not where you should be getting your information from. It's where you should be showing photographs of your family members. And you shouldn't be getting your news through social media. You should be looking at peer-reviewed research. Looking for people who dedicate their lives to this. There was a time before we hated, the world hated these people. We respected the researchers. We respected the fact checkers because they really were providing a service that we didn't even realize how much we needed it. And the powers that be have done such a good job of making them the enemy. Like a fact checker. Like, how is that the enemy? And then now people are saying, well, how do we know it's the truth? Who determines what is truth? Facts are the truth. And then people say, well, we have alternative facts. But these people are misunderstanding data points and facts. You can have different sets of data with different sets of information. But only one of them is factual. And only one of them is the truth. So it's just really important for us to search the internet, or search information, triple check. Don't even double check. Triple check to make sure it's real. Make sure you know what you're talking about. The difference between disinformation and misinformation is, disinformation is intentional. It's information put out there to make you confused, make you. Misinformation is the people who received that information and spread it, not knowing it's not real. So they spread the disinformation, and then they let the masses take over. and spread misinformation. And it's just nonstop. There was a point, before 2016, politics didn't inundate our lives like it did today. I've never seen just 24/7, like no matter what you do, what golf tournament you're watching, or what, determine what politics you are. It's just sad. We need to find our way back to each other. The world's beautiful, like I said. It's beautiful people, unique people that you can learn from. And it's just time that we find our way back. So I'm going to start doing more. I'm going to do podcasts every week. This is just my first one. This is more like an introduction. My name is Rinja. I'm a hacker and information warfare expert. I have multiple degrees in cybersecurity, all cybersecurity and information warfare, IT systems. I've been going to college for a long time, and I have a very strong understanding of information and how it flows and how it's ingested by people. And right now I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned that, every day people just aren't getting it. They're not getting that these people are lying for their own, so for their own benefit. I mean, they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about you. They care about money. We're going to a society that can't afford homes. These young generation people will never own a home. We're going to be in a subscription-based and rent-based society where we own nothing. We already are. We don't own the movies we pay for, our subscription. We don't own our music that we pay for. It's all subscription-based. Homes are being bought up. There's a company now that owns $1 trillion worth of homes. Yeah, $1 trillion worth of homes. Think about how many people could have a house if they weren't being outbidded by corporations. And as long as we're fighting each other, we're not paying attention to these things. So, I'd like to see everybody do a little bit better. Really go out there and, look for people who are telling you the truth. You can tell who's lying to you and who's BSing you. It's really not hard. We're always looking to belong to something. And people, now that physical interactions are down and digital interactions are up, the communities we're finding are a little bit different. And, not necessarily thinking it's very good, because we get in these echo chambers. And echo chambers lead to bad things. They lead to you not listening to the other side. And as when you're in an echo chamber, your thoughts are validated, and you get into these rabbit holes where only you're right and everybody else is wrong. Everybody in your community is smart and everybody in the other community is an idiot. And we need to really, really, really look at trying to find our way back to each other. Sorry if I'm just ranting, but after this video, I'm really just going to focus on information warfare and really trying to get the message out there. But this one, I just want to have more of a heart-to-heart talk and say we got to do better. We're a beautiful country with beautiful people and multicultural, and there's nothing better than going to a city like DC or New York or Chicago and seeing all the different cultures come together. And you can eat, it's like you go out to dinner in a different country every day. I mean, who doesn't want that? The world would be so boring if we're all the same. Embrace uniqueness. Embrace people who are different than you. I love seeing someone who's different than me. If the world was full of me, it would be the most boring place in the world. So, get back out there, start talking, having conversations, and share your perspective on life. And just share why you think different cultures and different people and different, I don't know. I'm definitely worried about where we're headed. But I think we can turn it around, guys. Alright. So, this is Rinja. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. Do your due diligence. Research your information. Triple check your information. And be kind to each other. Have a good night, everybody.